Hello there guys, and welcome to video number 2 in our MVVM for Visual Basic. We're going to carry on with last night's project. We are going to add a button click event in our view model, which is then bound to a button, and that's going to raise the iNotification property change, and it's going to update our combo box with new content. Okay, it's a lot of words, but believe me, it's not too much code and it's not difficult to understand. If you haven't already done so, then please consider to subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell to notify yourself of new videos coming out. So I'll see you after this. Okay guys, so we're just going to carry on straight from where we left off with the previous project, and actually it's the same project, not the previous one, and I'm just going to give it a quick run to see where we left off. I think we created the view model that updates our combo box with a couple of records, and then we can see there's a couple of records over there. Okay, so the idea was that we could prove that the main page itself, the code at the back, would have almost no code. When I say almost no code, we have to declare the view model and we have to declare the data context. Now, the data context you can either declare here after it's been initialized, or you can declare it straight into the XAML. Either which way will work. Okay. So in today's video we are going to, that's my coffee. In today's video we are going to add a button click event in an MVVM format, because the biggest question would be, if I have a page and I click a button, the button code does not go onto the code behind. Okay, the button would need to go back to the view model and trigger some sort of an event that'll bring back new data or an action or whatever the case may be. But that just means that we can't write on the code behind. So how do we handle a button click event? To start off with, I think what we need to do is create our button. Okay, so let's go and do that in a XAML very quickly. I'm going to add a button. Height of about 50, a width of about 200, content that says update, and for now I'm just going to close it there. There's my button there. Let's give it a background that we can actually see a little bit better. Okay, so there's our button. We don't really want to double click on this button and create some code behind. We want to handle that within the view model. So let us go to the view model and create a new class. So we're going to create a new class inside this class. So we're going to go new, what am I doing? A public class, and this class is going to be called command class. Okay, and we are going to implement the ICommand, and as you can see, it creates one event and an execute property and a can execute property. But they were very clever to make sure you don't forget, because what it's going to do is, if you leave it as is, it's going to throw a not implemented exception, which means that you have to do something here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this guy and this guy, and we're going to handle them in a second. So we've now removed Microsoft's exceptions from here. And what I'm going to do is can execute. The first thing we need to do is return a true value. So if you wanted to execute, you're going to need to say, I want to execute. Okay, we're also going to declare a a private my command as new command. Okay, we have to declare a new command. We also need to set a sub new when this class gets initialized. I will need to pass into the sub by vol my action as an action. Okay, and my command will equals my action when it sets when it initializes. Oops, there we go. Okay, why isn't that? Oh, that's a command as an action. Okay, there we go. Now, it's not a new action. It's giving us an error there. Alright, and execute. We execute my command. Okay, so a little bit of code here. Let's see if we can make it a bit clearer. Triggers when the class is initialized. Okay, declare a new action. Okay, here's our event, our execute, and our permission. Okay, so this little class here handles the command. We pass the information to the ICommand. It checks if we can actually is allowed to take this command and if it's allowed to trigger the command, and then it just passes the value back. Okay, so now we need to do is we need to play with this new class that'll trigger our value for us. Let's do that quick. Now our combo box is actually populated with this add persons for I125, and then adds the person to the user list, and it updates this list of a person. So if we should change this list of people, then this notification property change would be triggered, and our combo box over here, which is bound to that list of users, will then automatically update. And that's the function of the iNotification property change, because it tells the system that the property has changed, and then our UI would update. Okay, so for us to make sure that we can see changes in here, I am going to create a new sub. Okay, so we're going to go public sub, and we're going to add new set of persons. Okay, and in this code I'm just going to copy exactly what's happened here, but instead of 1 to 5 I'm going to do 1 to 13, for example. Okay, so what it's going to do is going to create a same list, it's going to update the same properties, it's going to update our user list, but in this time it's going to do 13 people rather than our initial load of 5. Okay, so I mean, can we change this wording to make sure that that's also changed? So it'll be one name test 2. Okay, so it'll be any number named test2, and we'll know that that has updated. So what we're going to do now is we need to have a property, because the button click, when any control binds, it binds to a property. So when the button click event is triggered, it needs to look for a property. In this case, we're going to create a public read-only property. We're going to call it my command as an ICommand. Command as an ICommand. Yep, I'm gonna just read only property. No wonder it's confused. Okay, let's make that into a full property, and there we go. Okay, so because it's a read-only property, it only has a getter. Okay, so that's what I wanted to point out. Okay, and now that command, alright, needs to trigger an event. Add command as a new command, and that'll be the address of, and that'll be our add new set of persons. Okay, so basically what I've done here is we've created the property that the button will bind to. Once the property is executed, or once the button calls this property for its information, it'll go to my command. Sorry, that and that should be the same. Why are we having an error here? Oh, okay. It's already a property called my command, sorry. Alright, we're gonna have to call this Are you happy now? Okay. So again, this is the property that we've created. The button will be clicked and it will then try and read this property. It's called command. It'll then return command, but it doesn't know what command is because it'll then collect it from here. We can actually change it back to dim because we're declaring it, and then it will go from this command, the address of this. It will then execute this and update the this is the previous one, sorry. Okay, it'll then update the user list, and the iron notification property will then update the combo box. It's update, 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 update. Okay, let me go and see if this now works. Okay, so what we'll have to do is take the property, copy that, go to the main page, go to our button we've created, and in here we are going to specify the command, and it'll be open and close brackets, the binding of the property. Okay, let's give that a run and see if that works. So it initializes with our 5 items. Click the button, and now we have our 13 items. Okay, and you can also see the test 2 is in the list. Okay, so what did we do? Just to quickly recap, we have created this little class. Okay, let me zoom up so you can see that. We've created this class. It is an ICommand class. We inherit the ICommand class, and we are passing a command in. We check that the command can be executed and then it executes the command, and therefore we have the ability to call that command. Okay, so we do a property for the button to tie to that actually just executes a sub that we can execute. This one here, it executes our sub and it loads the list, not the combo box. It actually loads the list with a new set of persons, and then the combo box updates by itself. Very, very clever stuff. Here is our user list that gets updated when the button gets clicked. Okay. All right. So now that's a bit too big. How about, can I do something like 120? No, that looks better. Okay. So this is how you handle the button. Again, if you look at the main page, the code behind, there is no button event here. Okay, and I would like to go back to the view model and just check something. Okay. All right, so that's all good and well, but this is a lot of code just to get a button to work, you know, to write a class to handle it. But the best thing about it is that this view model can be used in any other application. This view model can be used by any other application. So for example, if I had Xcode or a Kotlin front end user interface for Android applications, for anything, Windows applications, Xbox applications, anything, then all I need to do is write the UI code to kick back to or bind back to our binding properties. And that's it. All of the other logic is held in here. So it's a very minimum price to pay for that scalability. Okay. Another great thing is, and this is the reason why I've got this text box here, this text block, I suppose. LBL, what's it, person? Okay, what I wanted to show you is, if for example, and this is not MVVM, all right, but I just want to quickly show you that the selected item in the combo box will actually be the object and not a text. All right, so that's the power of it. It actually brings back the object. My person equals, do we name this combo box? Let's go and name this combo box. CB underscore persons. CB underscore persons dot selected item. Okay, and now you can see it's bringing back the actual person. Now this is not MVVM, it's just quick code to show you what it does. And then my LBL person dot text, I can then reference my person, and you can see we can get the age, the username, and the user last name because it's an actual object. So username. Okay, so let's just go and try this quickly. One to 5, click update. 1 to 13, click 13. 13 name test. So that just proves that it is so powerful because you don't need all of the front end and the hard coded stuff in the front. Okay, so that's everything I have to say on the button click and the iNotification update. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below, and if you haven't already done so, you can subscribe. It'll help my channel. And until next time, have a good night. Cheers.